Hey everyone, Kinars here with another Blender tutorial. Yep, here with another Blender tutorial after probably almost a month. Yeah, I apologize for that. Kind of been trying to figure out something else to talk about without being so boring. Although I don't think I'm too boring, but who knows? Well, anyway, this new tutorial that I'm going to talk about is actually covering an add-on that I found probably a few months back. And it's actually very interesting for animators and just those who's just playing around with the Rigify and want to do something real cool. So what the name of this add-on is called Dynamic Parent. As you can see in my toolbar, it's right over there. So basically the add-on, what it does is if you have a character that needs to pick up something, it makes it a lot easier. Instead of you having to add a child or constraint or anything like that, it basically does most of the heavy lifting for you. And all you have to do is just do everything with just one click of a button. So, the author of this add-on is Roman Volodin. Apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name right. But I, myself, think this is a real good add-on for Blender. Even though it's not in the trunk, it's actually something that you can download. And I'll put the link in the description for you to download it. So, as you already see, I already have my scene open, as well as my character ready and animated. By the way, this guy's name's Plex. For any of you who's following me on Facebook, I uploaded a render of him on there, as well as DeviantArt. And probably later on in the future, I may create an Instagram. I'm still debating on that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. So, how does add-on works? Basically, you get to your animation where you want the character to pick up something. I'm going to go to right view, which is 3. And let's see, I get them right here. So you get to your part of the animation where you need to pick up something, and I'm going to use the hand for this one. You just right click on it or whatever the object is, and you shift right click on the object that you want to pick up, and you go over here to Dynamic Parent and you hit create. Excuse me. So after you hit create, well, you're going to probably be like, well, what happened? Did anything happen? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to zoom out, by the way. So scroll up a little bit, just move further down in the timeline. As you can see, the cube stands up. Well, it's now being held, kind of, sort of, with a little errors. So he's going to show the cube, and as you can see, the cube is actually in his hand. So if I was to want to make any adjustments to this, say, oh, well, I want the cube to be a little further over in his hand, you wouldn't be able to do that like right then and there, because that'll add a keyframe, because if you have auto keyframing on anyway, it would. But say if I want to rotate the hand, I don't want him to hold the cube up to the camera like this. You just rotate it and the cube stays in his hand. Neat, huh? Okay. So, I'm going to go further down the line in the timeline. Here comes the interesting one. Okay. So now, he's passing the cube over to his other hand. Like this. I'm going to scroll in so you can see. So, what if I want to pass this over to this hand? How would I go about doing it? Well, it's quite simple with Dynamic Parent. So, it's just like the first time. You go back into the timeline and scroll over to the keyframe that you want for him to change it. Oh, excuse me, lost the words for a minute. So right click on this hand as well, shift right click on the cube, and hit create. Alright, zoom back out, move over, and bam, cube's in his hand. Kind of floating, but it's in his hand. Yeah, floating cube like that. Alright, so go back in the right view, and he's going to place the cube on the table. So let's get rid of this cube out of his hand. So if I don't do what I'm about to do, as you can see, the cube's going to continue floating and go on the side with his hand. So we don't want that. So the simple way how to stop this is you just right click on the cube, and click disable. So now when we move his hand over, the cube stays. Neat, huh? So, I hope you enjoyed this Blender tutorial. I try to keep it as simple as possible with all my tutorials. And again, like, subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment. Thank you.